our slides are uploading, so I will be starting, and as soon as they upload, then we continue. So thank you so much for the hosting, Natasha. Thank you so much to Eduniversal for inviting us to share what's been our journey with Adam's Choice. And I think, so the reason why we thought it would be interesting to share with you what's been our Adam's Choice journey, which is a joint program between Nova School of Business and Economics, a top business school in Portugal, and Mercer International, so a top consultancy that is present worldwide. And we thought it would be interesting to share, because actually we had one program designed together that was going to happen in 2020. And because of the pandemic, we had to kind of reinvent ourselves, as so many people and organizations had to do as well. So we had to kind of rewrite our story. And by doing this rewriting, we actually realized that we were much more than a program. By allowing time and space for us to think about what Adam's Choice really is, we realized the amazing opportunities that we could have with this platform. So much more than a program. Now we have a platform of solutions and initiatives that contribute to what we believe to be our mission. And I think it's worth just speaking about what gave rise to Adam's Choice, to the Adam's Choice idea and concept. I'm not sure if the slides are on already. I think so. Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yes. So the Adam's Choice, so the name itself takes us to the first, the choice, maybe the choice that is considered to be the first in humanity. Okay, finally we have our slides. So first, humanity's choices, the Adam's Choice. Adam, not so much about Adam himself, but Adam as humanity. So what happened was in 2019, Mercer published a report, so Mercer Talent Trends, and for the first time, burnout came as one of the top 5 concerns of executives. So what we realized that was actually that, and you know that in 2019 was also when the time when burnout came to be considered by the World Health Organization as a chronic disease. So what we realized was burnout, and putting it in a very simple way, reflects the fact that we consistently make choices that in the end are not good for us. And that's why we end being extremely tired, and that affects ourselves, our organizations, our families. So what we realized with this, that is actually that choice, and I know we've been talking already about choices in this conference. So choice is no longer a natural act, but a competence that must and needs to be developed. And with this in mind, we realize, okay, we have this mission of helping executives, of helping people to become conscious about how they make decisions, and we want to help them to make better choices. But there is also a detail here, because the Adam's Choice considers human beings as unique and also highly complex. And it considers humans in their holistic sense. So we look at the different dimensions of human beings. So we could also not bring them universal methodologies that will help them to make better choices. So the challenge we make executives on Adam's Choice is actually to develop their own decision-making methodology, which we actually called Choosenology. So Choosenology is actually a concept that didn't exist before, but this is what we want to empower participants to do throughout our journey. So what I told you was, I don't know if I can, okay, saving conversion. So sorry, we are having some issues with the slides.
Should be almost ready.
Yes. Exactly. So what I've told you is what this program is, Adam's Choice, and now we are going to take you on this journey, showing you what was the set in stone plan, then how did we rewrite this story, and then where we are at now. What is this work in progress mindset that we have now, and all the possibilities that we have in front of us. So maybe. Okay, so I've told you about this. After this, we will also have some roundtable challenges that we will invite you at the end of the session. So let us start with what the set in stone plan was. So as I told you, we had a program. So Adam's Choice was one program. And basically this program had 3 stages. So define your path, immerse yourself, and take action. The main focus of Adam's Choice was on these 3 days immersion. So these were 3 days at Nova Business School, so and Conselho de Cascais in Portugal, near Lisbon. We had an initial stage which was for participants to define their journey, because Adam's Choice it's customized to our needs. So you had a stage where you do an online survey where you assess how you balance the different human dimensions: social, spiritual, physical, intellectual, emotional, and occupational. And then you have a debriefing session with where you explore your survey results, and also where you define which dimensions you want to focus on. So this was the first stage of the program. And then your journey was on these 3 days. So then you went from this online stage and then to the 3 days. And then we proposed a 6 months take action stage. It was using the app with challenges and contents that we would send participants. So this was the program. Main focus was on these 3 days, highly immersive. So this was what we had. And then the pandemic came. So as you can see, these 3 days were going to happen in May, and the pandemic came, and we came home. So we kind of had to, we thought we're not going to cancel. Let's think, let's see what we can do, because more than this set in stone plan, Adam's Choice is this concept about how to make better choices. And never before it was so important to take care of this theme in our lives. So we thought, how can we actually reinvent this program to make it even more relevant to our participants? And how can it also support people in this journey that we are all going through with many challenges? And actually, we are all going through this same journey. Sorry, I'm always clicking on the wrong. Okay, so as I said, we had to rewrite the story, and one thing that, you know, the pandemic came, and we thought, okay, this is there's many ways we can look at this situation. And what we thought in our team was, okay, we have time now, because we had these 3 days happening. It's logistically hugely complex, and we gain time. So let's use this time wisely. Let's take time to reflect, to think how can we make this program relevant, and that's what we did. And
we had a challenge, which was, we had participants already starting the program, the first step, and they were eager to get to May and have the event. And suddenly there was no way we could do the event. So simply postponing the event was not an option. We had to find a way to keep these participants engaged and to keep them going through the journey with us.
Yeah, exactly, because many of them had gone through the first stage already, the define your path. And we also thought we kind of have a mission of helping people through these challenging times. And so we were home, and many of us were actually near nature. So, you know, we tried to find inspiration in everything that we had around us. And we thought also about, you know, the concept of the program, the name itself, Adam's Choice. And then we ended up getting inspiration from the apple tree. And it's interesting because I don't know if you know, but the apple tree is considered to be the most resilient tree in the world, because not only grows in the cold of Canada, but also in the hot summer of Africa. And it's also the most consumed fruit in the world. So we thought that we looked at the different growth stages of the apple tree, and we actually realized that we could get inspired by these same processes, by this ecosystem that grows with the apple tree. And so we identified 4 stages of the apple tree that we could make connections with the stages of Adam's Choice. And we actually ended up adding one more stage to the program. Just before I get into the details of the different growth stages of the apple tree, let us just go through these 5 methodological routes that we have at Adam's Choice. Because this is what sustains us. This is where the basis from where we design all the initiatives and everything that we offer in our program. So the first route is sustained. So we are a university and a consultancy. We represent a university and a consultancy. So all the knowledge we bring, we try that is the latest and scientifically proven. So everything of the highest quality possible. However, we also give ourselves the space to innovate. So we take risks, and this is very important. So we go territories that haven't been explored before. And because Adam's Choice, above all, has this mission of wanting to be part of the education reinvention that we believe that needs to happen. So we take risks. Then another route is that we are highly relational. So we take advantage of all the people that we have around us. And you will see how we do it during the program. Then the third methodological route is practical. So we take an active role, we challenge participants to take an active role on the learning journey. So for example, we have actually participants designing some of our sessions and delivering the sessions, writing contents for the program. So no longer just sitting on a chair listening to a professor. So it's much more than that. The fourth methodological route is sensorial. So we know that we learn with all our senses. We learn full body. So we will make use of that. And we also know that the more we use these 5 senses, the more sustained our knowledge will be. And last but not least, the 5th methodological route is immersive. So as I was saying, of course, this relates to the practical and relational, and sensorial routes. So we believe that having a full body experience, being completely immersed, coming away from reality, being completely available to learn new things, to discrystallize our beliefs. And that's why we have these the 3 days that we had to postpone, they are still there. And Adam's choice without an immersion wouldn't fulfill its purpose. So then I will be very fast on explaining the different stages of the program, how we rewrote. So we maintained the first part of the define your path, but these making a connection with seeding, with the pruning part, when you cut off the branches of the apple tree that weight you down and you leave the ones with more potential for growth and for bearing fruit. This is the stage where participants look inwards, reflect about what the dimensions they want to work on, and become more aware of how they balance the different dimensions. Then you enter the stage that we didn't have at Adam's choice, but now it makes so much sense because of this apple tree inspiration and how they teach us. Because before the flower transforms into fruit, there's something that happens. And we called it the nurturing stage. So when the flower grows, in order to transform into fruit, this flower needs to be pollinated. So we need pollinators, in this case, the bees, but you also need other apple trees around you. So this is where the ecosystem needs to form in order for this flower to transform into fruit. So this part is where we took the relational root to its biggest potential, and we put participants together, and Mafalda will take you into the detail of how we did that, because this is the stage where we are at now with our participants. So then we go into the transforming stage, which are the 3 days, the 3 presential days. These days will happen in January at Nova, within all the security guidelines. We have participants into small tribes, and this is where they will be fully immersed. They will sleep at a hotel, so it's kind of, a lot of the participants like to call this stage kind of their retreat, where they are completely, fully ready to learn, and they will interact with other participants, something they tell us that it's one of the things they miss the most, and we understand. So then the apple tree teaches us a very also important point, which is because the program could end, in this highly emotional stage. You go through these 3 days and it's amazing. You are together, you learn a lot. But then the probability that you're able to take this home and change and make it sustainable, difficult. So the apple tree teaches us that after transformation, this fruit is not ready for harvest. So you need to allow the right maturation time. So we will not leave participants after these 3 amazing days. We will give them support into this growing stage, which will be a mix of online and presential support, which we called the Take Action. And after that, so in March, we believe they will be ready for harvest and also to disseminate these new seeds from these new fruits into their organizations, families, and then go through this process all over again. So then Mafalda is going to just take you in more detail on this nurturing journey.
Yeah, so after hearing this, what I think is a beautiful metaphor to explain the program, I'm going to zoom in to the nurturing stage so that you can have an idea of what happens in practice. So what do we actually do in the program? And the fact that we have the seeding stage where the participant does an online survey, so the stage that happens before nurturing, the participant does an online survey where they evaluate how they are in the 6 dimensions of life. And after that, we have a session, a one-on-one session with each of them to understand what are their main objectives, what they want to take out of this training, so this executive education program. And what happens is that this chats that we have with them allows us to understand what their objectives are, what they are looking for. And at this point, when we redesigned the program, we had to be completely open to participant feedback, to their ideas, and to understand how we could help them in this personal transformation journey. So with this in mind, and with all the feedback we had at the time, we had to turn a program that was mainly in person, an event, and I know all of you went through this as well. We're all in this together, but we had to basically reinvent a phase that would be completely online. And this is what we did. So just before I move to this slide, this is the pollination stage. So as well as being one of the most resilient trees, the apple tree also has an interesting characteristic. Apples are extreme heterozygotes. And this basically means that whenever pollination occurs, each seed has the potential to give rise to completely different kinds of apples. There are actually more than 7,500 known apple types. And this, the relation that we make to the program is that the fact that apples have so much diversity, that each seed is unique, is what has made them so resilient. And we believe it's the same with our participants. So at the nurturing stage, we want to bring out what is most unique to each participant. So what is in the DNA? What are their natural talents? What are things that they are maybe not living to their full potential, and we want to help them work through. And DNA is it's a unique code in each of us. So each person has to go through this journey for themselves. It doesn't mean they have to do it alone. So with the way we've structured this journey is you have an individual part, and which you have to do by yourself, and it also has to be done as a group journey. So any change that I implement in me, or any personal growth that I have, I then have to be able to bring this to the people I interact with, to my organization, to my family, to my friends. So this journey always has to be done in both ways, individually and as part of a group journey. And the way we've designed this nurturing stage, so we're basically doing a sort of preparation for each of the participants before they go to the immersion phase, to the transforming phase. So we have we have divided this progress in 5 steps. Here you see the first, which we don't consider a step, is just a launch phase. We give the participants all the information, we explain to them what happens, and then the 5 steps are as follows. So we have a time where we invite each participant to look at their current situation. So we ask them to understand before they go into finding. We usually skip this step. So we're always focusing on what we want to do, what we want to change, but we invite them to look inwards, to understand what their current situation is, what is happening, before they try to change or to solve anything. The next step is to, after understanding the current situation, to define some objectives, so personal objectives that they want for themselves, being for their personal lives, for their work, for both even. And then we encourage them to determine an action plan on how they will reach these objectives. After the action plan, it's time for implementation. So we go through an implementation phase where they are putting their action plan into action. And then we have, at the end, of course, an evaluation where we invite participants to reflect on this progress, to understand, look at what happened, what went wrong, what could have gone better, what they would do differently next time. Because this process that we take them through in Adam's Choice is actually a cyclical one. So after going through this process in Adam's Choice, they can keep these tools and go through the process themselves again over and over as they please. And how do we do this in practice? So for each of these steps, we have 4 initiatives that support the participant in this journey. So the first one is the inspiring content. And on a weekly basis, we share content with our participants that will help them in each of the steps. So in the current situation, we'll be sharing content that helps them to understand how they can have a deeper look at their current situation. In objectives, the same, and so on. So we do a curation of content that is available online, but also articles that are produced by the Adams Choice community. This is where participants can write articles. The people we have that are coming to design the sessions and to give classes at Adams Choice are also contributing with articles. So everyone in the community can share content that is related to each of these steps. And we also we've created an initiative that we call peer mentoring. So this is a peer mentoring initiative where participants are mentors to other participants, and they get mentoring from a different participant. So this is something that has actually been going really well, and participants are taking a lot of value from it. A lot of them had never done mentoring, but what we did was give them a handbook with mentoring best practices. We had a masterclass on the subject as well, and they are just learning with the process and understanding that by doing something, they're actually being able to mentor others. The third initiative that we have, and just to make this connection clear, so for each of the steps, we have one mentoring session. And this mentoring session is obviously about each step. So in the first mentoring session, I'm going to evaluate my current situation. In the second one, I'm going to work with my mentor to decide or determine my objectives. And so I have someone who is always going through this process with me and helping me think and reflect, etc. The third initiative is our co-learning groups. So similar to the peer mentoring, these are groups of participants where in sessions that they have around once per month, they can challenge each other and give each other support while they are going on this journey. And similarly, we have a co-learning group for each step so that they can discuss challenges and other aspects of each of the steps that they're going through. And last but not least, we have masterclasses. So this is a moment where all the participants are together in a Zoom call and having a masterclass at the same time. This is a very important aspect of Adams Choice because it's what participants see. It's almost like a classroom, a time that they have to be there and they have class. And we have 3 types of masterclasses. So we have a dare to unlearn moment, and this is where we have an expert on a subject matter that is also related to each of the steps as they are happening, and we invite this person to challenge the participants' current knowledge and give them new knowledge. So this is why we call it dare to unlearn, because sometimes we need to unlearn in order to learn again. In all the sessions are very interactive. We have breakout rooms, we have Q&A session afterwards. So we try to bring this immersive nature of Adams Choice to these online masterclasses as well. The Dare to Share type of masterclass it's a more informal format, exactly. And this is where we invite people from the Adams Choice community, so they can be participants as well. We have today a masterclass that is going to be given by a participant, and this is where people can share knowledge through their personal stories. So they can share experience and learnings through personal stories. And the last format is Dare to Feel. And this is the 1% of the program that is not online. So these are sessions that we have on campus with very small groups of people and with all the security measures. And they are immersive shots. So similar to what we expect for the program in January for the event. So these are just small classes where we've had meditation with Tibetan singing bowls, which was actually led by Catarina, and we've had improvisation theater. So very hands-on sessions, which the participants have loved so far. And this is how we've redesigned this completely new phase and made it online.
And it's above all a self-knowledge journey. That's one part that is made individual, but also with support, and then collectively with your groups, where you also build your collective intelligence. And that's actually the relational part that participants have been mostly taking advantage of, and getting to know so many people from different industries, different areas, who can support and inspire each other. So that's where the most value of this program has been taken. Also the immersive shots, because many participants, this is the first time they have contact with different, methodologies, and sometimes things that do not relate, you think that they do not relate specifically to executive education, but actually you can make a lot of parallelisms. You can use it as metaphor. And a lot of times they are completely transformational. And that's what we want to bring to executive education. So without further delays, because we have just 2 or 3 minutes, we just wanted to show you how we have evolved from a program. So we had one program into actually this platform of people, solutions, which we now call a work in progress mindset. Because we are learning all the time, and there are so many things out there and so many new things that we cannot close ourselves in what we have already. So how we tried to show this in a visual way, although we're not sure this. In Portuguese, we would say faz jus. I don't know, faz jus
makes it justice.
Makes it justice. But basically, so we are within the University of Nova and Mercer. They have already their existing resources. But then also with Adam's Choice, we started to build this network of people, experienced designers, of specialists, because at Adam's Choice, so the first Dare to Unlearn masterclass was given by a doctor. So she's specialized in neuroscience, nutrition, and mindfulness. She takes a very holistic approach. We will have a maestro as well, giving a masterclass. So we are building this network of specialists, which we can call, depending on the call and co-create, depending on the challenges.
So instead of using only university professors or consultants from Mercer, we are looking for people with very different experiences that can bring very different set of skills to what we do.
Exactly. And from these people come these new methodologies, also all the research we do ourselves, our team, also methodologies that even professors from Nova are also testing. So we bring all of these also to Adam's Choice. So actually, we realized that we could do much more than just one program. And we started adopting these work in progress mindsets, and it's interesting because when we went on to present all the clients that reserved spots for their employees, so companies, they started calling us and asking, oh, we have this challenge in our team. We cannot do the full program, but maybe we think that Adam's Choice can respond to our challenge. So actually clients and companies showed us that this was much more than a program. So they showed us how this work in progress mindset should be adopted by us. And just a quick note on what exactly means this work in progress mindset. So one of the things I think characterizes a lot our team and the way we work is that we have a really strong sense of mission and purpose. We love what we do. We love being here in academia. We love being at Nova as well. Also, very important because we live so busy lives with so much noise around us, but we created space for sparking creativity. Without giving space to our team to think, to co-create, to brainstorm, we wouldn't get to where we are right now. And we give ourselves this space for creativity. Then another thing we do is we actively seek feedback. And most importantly, from participants. So we have close contact, frequent contact with participants. And it's interesting because they share ideas. Oh, I think this would be interesting, or we would love to have this session again, or you could bring this. And we take this feedback and we act upon it if it makes sense, of course, straight away.
We try to be very fast at implementing this feedback as well.
Exactly, and this takes actually to the fifth point, which is we are very agile in this team and with Adam's choice, and this also makes a big difference. Also, another characteristic of what is having this work in progress mindset is that we are completely open for co-creation, and we love to co-create. So every time that we contact a specialist or an experienced designer, we will not bring something that is already done and just put it into an Adam's Choice program. We will make sense that it fits the journey that we are designing and that it's unique. And also we even with when a company comes with a challenge, we don't go with a closed proposal. We start with the concept.
And after they will be pleased
we receive the briefing, we present the concept, and let's see if this makes sense. If yes, then we continue developing into more detail.
Team leader at
So we
Nova
co-create
SBE,
a lot with
and
clients
Mrs.
and participants
Mafalda
and
Paiva
experienced
Chaves,
designers.
program design and experience manager
this,
at Nova SBE
taking
executive
risks,
education.
sometimes it's difficult because you are getting into out of your comfort zone and into unknown territories. And especially, we are representing a university, so we have a huge responsibility. But anyway, if we don't go out of our comfort zone, out of the campus, we will never be able to innovate tremendously as we believe we can. So we take risks, and sometimes it's amazing, sometimes it doesn't go so well. But the amazing thing, and this has to do with this contagious enthusiasm and energy, and I think the empathy. We are very close with participants and with clients. So they empathize with us and they feel co-responsible, and they understand that we are taking risks and that sometimes things might not go so well.
But surprisingly, I think most of the time it's gone very well.
Yes.
And the feedback has been great. So
Yeah. And one of the things, we are always saying that at Adam's Choice, in the traditional educative system, especially in Portugal, you have subjects, you have a frequency of classes, then you have exams, you have group projects, you have deadlines, and then you get your certificate. And at Adam's Choice, the case study is yourself. So, and a lot of times participants are saying, oh, but, what are the key deliverables? Like, what are the key takeaways? And this really depends on who you are, how much dedication you put into this journey. You set your objectives, you set your deadlines. So it really depends on how much you put in. So what you get out, it depends on what you put in. And that's also the beauty of Adam's Choice, because personal development is a work in progress journey all our lives. And with Adam's Choice, we also want to give the tools for people to keep reflecting, keep discussing, keep having deep conversations. And also this makes the bridge into the Roundtables challenge. We brought you some examples I think it's interesting because we had a full program, and now we have many programs with the Adam's Choice purpose embedded. So we just wanted to show you how we have taken on the tools that we have been developing at Adam's Choice, the people and the methodologies, and how we build programs. And they are mostly online, but for companies for specific teams. So this is one example. So it's a 4-month journey. It's almost fully online, but that has an immersive shot. Then this is another completely different one. This is a wholeness journey that travels across the 6 wellness dimensions, and it has a lot of co-learning involved, also a sound journey, and it finishes with the occupational dimension. And finally, another one, and this one takes a little bit more of the hard part. So Adam's Choice focus mostly on the soft skills, which actually said Eduniversal comes to say soft skills are the hard skills of tomorrow. But organizations also need, and some of them are still looking for a hard part to it. And actually this mixture can be very, very interesting. And this is a great example of a program that takes from all this ecosystem that we showed you, that is this one. We took the already existing resources, we brought into Adam's Choice network of people, and we built a completely, how do we say, personalized journey for
and balance soft skills and hard
exactly
skills. So depending a lot on what each client is looking for, what their challenges are, we can get a little bit from each of these circles that are currently the Adam's Choice ecosystem. And with our work in progress mindset, this also means that we are open for new partnerships, always opening for other new additions to our ecosystems that we might encounter because we have this work in progress mindset.
Exactly. So this circle, this gray circle that you see, is what we still don't know. And it might be that some of you have ideas that you want to share with us, partnerships you want to make, things that you feel can be an add-on to this concept, to this work in progress mindset, to this ecosystem. So feel free to get in touch with us. We will have now some roundtable challenges in order to brainstorm on how can we take the education even further in terms of new methodologies and disruption. And so if you would like to keep the talk to us, join us. Thank you so much for listening, and
we will meet you at the Roundtables room.
Yes. Bye. Thank you for the clapping hands.
Yes, thank you so much, dear speakers, to share your experience with all of us. Dear audience, do you have some questions? You can always write it in a public chat or raise a hand.